graduated 7 years ago.
And that's crazy.
Don't remind me.
Like,
Therapy is extremely helpful. This helps you deal with trauma.
Finally ran into this thing. You ready? Let's get into it.
Hey everyone, welcome back for the last episode of season 2, growth and lessons in our mid-20s. So today we'll be talking about growth, life lessons, and unlearning bad habits. I have a few special guests with me. So y'all go ahead, say y'all name, y'all age, and whatever else you want to plug.
Ladies first.
Okay. Hi, my name is Brielle. I'm 24 years old. My Instagram is BlazoWorld, and yeah.
hi, I'm Shay. I am 25.
What's good, y'all? My name is Jariah Watkins. I am the host of the Highlight Reel podcast where I like talking to young adults about their lives. I am 25.
So let's start off and let's talk about the good things about our 20s.
Okay.
What's one thing you appreciate about being in your 20s right now?
I got time still. Like before you feel like things are really maybe falling apart, you got some time to, like we talking about, learn some things, maybe unlearn, bounce back, and
It's like you have time for mess ups, basically.
Yeah.
Like you have time for mistakes.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, you have those mistakes. You might wake up the next day like, oh my goodness, like, why did I do this? But then it's just kind of like as the day rolls out or time rolls out, it's just like, it's not that big of a deal. Maybe you might be happy that it happened or something like that, just so you can learn from the mistakes.
Yeah, I agree. That's literally what I had. Like, you literally have the chance to make mistakes, and you can learn and fix those mistakes. Like, I made a lot of mistakes in my younger 20s that I've already fixed, and I'm only about to be 25.
Shout out to you.
Like, I messed up my credit and everything, but
Same.
it is really good now. Like, you can, and some of those mistakes that you make when you're younger, you're like, oh my gosh, you think the world is over. But then when you look back, it's like, I'm glad that I did that young, so I won't do that now. Like, I won't be trying to fix my credit and things like that when I'm in my 30s. Like, because I learned young. So
Yeah, I would say that I appreciate the fact that I'm still learning, like to know that I'm still learning. I don't have everything figured out.
Yeah.
I feel like it'd feel worse if I was in my 30s because there's so much pressure that comes with being in your 30s. I would
Yes.
feel like I need to know this, I need to know that. But being in your 20s, it's kind of like some comfort to know we don't know everything, especially at 25 or wherever you're at in your 20s. We're still learning. We have that chance to continue to learn.
yes.
So, yeah, I think that's mine.
Okay.
What's one word to describe how it feels to be in your mid-20s? Because we're at the mid mark.
If I could describe one word for my 20s, I would definitely say temperamental, because it's like I have my highs, but then I have like my super, super lows. But it's like when they're high, they're high. But it's like when they're low, they're low. Because it's like, I'm going to have fun, but it's like you have lows of that too. Like nothing's perfect in this world at all.
I agree with that. What would y'all say?
Rhea, I'll let you go. Go ahead.
The first word that came to my mind is turn.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
seriously.
So
like,
that was the first.
Young and turned.
Yes,
Yeah.
that was the first word that came to my mind, because I feel like I be having a ball. Like, I know life is hard, the economy is bad, but I still feel like I be having fun.
I agree. I'm gonna have me some fun.
I be
Same.
having fun.
Outside.
I travel.
Yes, travel,
I really would
concerts,
Oh,
like
Lord.
yes. So
I mean,
turn.
for me, it's more than one word that comes to mind.
You
I
gotta
would say
choose
it's,
one.
okay. Trial.
That's a
I would
good
say
one.
it's like
True.
it's a lot of because I'm thinking of trials and tribulations. Like you're gonna have a
Yeah.
lot of things that you got to learn. Because I'm only 25, but sometimes I forget. It's like, oh wow, I'm just 25. I'm all right. But there are still times where I'm thinking, all right, you better get it together before it's 35, then 45. Like you think you got more time than you might have. Because we were just talking about how
that was 7
how
years
fast,
ago.
yeah, we met like 7 years ago, and how long ago that was, but how quick it happened.
Oh my God.
So, yeah.
We graduated 7 years ago.
And that's crazy
Don't
to
remind
even
me.
think
Like,
about.
seven.
We were
Don't
just,
remind me.
it feels like we were just in high school, but in reality, no.
We were not.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
we're
But it's
far
like-
removed from
Yeah.
high school.
I mean, it's about to be
Yes.
the 10-year reunion. I can't even think about
Trust,
that.
I don't
Yeah.
even want to think about that.
Okay, maybe I like OD'd a little bit, sorry.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I think my word is pressure though, because even though I know I have time, like I just still be feeling like, oh my God, I need to figure this out. I need to get
Yes.
this handled and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So at the mid-20s mark, I definitely feel like the pressure is getting worse. Like
Yes.
literally,
Yes.
the pressure.
Pressure.
everything was south. Truly.
Man.
So how has life been lifing for y'all lately? Like, what's one thing y'all want to, or whatever y'all feel like is standing out right now, and it's like life is lifing right now.
I feel like I am in my era of learning, like, people are not cut from the same cloth as me. I cannot sit and do this, and it's not like I'm looking for recognition, or it's not like I'm doing it because I want you to do it back, or I mean, kind of reciprocation, but it's just like sometimes I'll just sit in my room and I'm just like, why would this person do this to me? And it's like, Shaylin, like, it's not for you to understand. It's not for you to figure out. It's just for you to get through it. Like, and I really be in my room thinking, like, so it's just like, it's a lot. And I'll literally sit and literally wonder, like, I don't understand why they would do me like that. And it's just like, it's genuinely for you not to understand. It's just for you to take this lesson, move forward, and that's what is about being in my mid-20s. Like, it's just really lessons on top of lessons, and sometimes they're good lessons, sometimes they're bad.
Lessons and grievance, like grieving a lot of relationships that you thought would be here.
And it's hard to let go of stuff like that. Like, it's definitely hard, but it's just like, sometimes you really gotta cut the hand off to save the arm.
I have a question about that, because I was in a similar spot around this time last year, where I was like, people do me in a way I would never, like, I wouldn't do them. Yeah. But I'm starting to realize that, like, I was probably putting people in positions, or I had expectations of them that they probably weren't going to fulfill. So I feel like I set myself up for failure. Yeah. So I'm wondering if that's what that is, because it's almost like at the end of the day, is it their fault or is it your fault?
I think it's like 50-50. Because it's like when somebody show you their true colors, you should really believe it. Because then it's like when they keep doing it, it's like, okay, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Is that to what extent, though? Because think of yourself. Like, we all make mistakes. We all behave in the way that we probably think about, and was like, self-reflection comes in. We're like, dang, that was wrong. Yeah. So to what extent can we be like, believe these colors?
Yeah, see, that's what I'm learning.
You still have to hold yourself accountable for stuff. Because it's like, I'll let someone do something to me, and I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah. Like, people may be more emotional than me. People may not. We're all different. In this one right now, we're all different. I'll be like, okay, cool. Like, okay, they did this. Like, then I'm like, I'll let it roll off. Then it's like, okay, now you're doing it. Now you're pissing me off. Yeah. And now it's like, I might explode, or I might act out of character, because it's just like, dang, you keep doing this to me, and I keep letting you do it. Yeah. So you just fooling. That's how I feel.
That's
so
exactly
like,
what I've been learning.
At this
but
point.
why would you do that? And that's why I lead back to when I be in my room, just trying to understand, why do I allow people to do that? But it's just like, me, I think of people, everyone is human, everyone makes mistakes, but it's like, when the roles are reversed, it's literally the end of the world. And one thing, I really hate being dehumanized, because I let everyone in this world be a human. If you do something, you maybe cuss me out, you maybe didn't really upset, you maybe took your anger out on me, you come apologize to me later, like, Shay, you know what? I was tripping. Like, I'm so sorry. I feel like I'm an apologetic person. So it's like, when people don't say sorry to me, that really has me hurting. And I feel like I deal with that a lot. Like, I feel like a lot of people don't apologize. Like, they just walk around like, shit, be cool.
See,
no, it's like, no,
I'm not cool.
Let me touch on that real quick.
Infuriated.
Because I feel like, for me, it's weird. I would say I'm optimistic, but I try to always be prepared for the worst. And then the worst comes, and then it's like I'm falling out about it.
But do you feel like that makes you pessimistic?
I don't know.
Because you always thinking about the word.
Because I feel like I'm like that, but it's like, does that make me a negative Nancy?
I don't think so. Because I mean, when you're prepared for the worst, then when it gets there, it's like, okay, well, I'm ready for this.
But then what about your faith? Like, where's the faith in that?
Where's the faith in that?
Because it's like, isn't that draining to continue to worry about the worst that can happen? Like, can we think about the good things?
No, you can. Yeah. But that's why it's called optimism. Optimism ain't always it's not going to always fall that way.
It's not. That's true.
So when
like, being let down is like a terrible feeling.
It is.
It's actually.
But can we ever prepare for the worst? Like, genuinely, can we ever be really?
You should think about it.
I feel like when you're used to the worst,
I feel like you should always think about it
for the worst. But like now, I feel like I've been like being real better with like speaking out to the universe versus me being in my head. I'm in my head a lot, so I think negative a lot. Like, every morning, I pray on my way to work. I don't pray in my head. I speak in my car, and I just say, like, God, like, please continue to work on me. If there's something that I'm failing at, like, just please work on it. I don't want to be angry anymore. I don't want to be irritable anymore. Like, I want to be at peace with what has happened or what people have done to me.
Because words have power, and prayer is really big for
And
me
every
too.
time I pray, I literally feel good.
Yep, you
Like,
feel better.
I feel
it's
great.
a release. And like, even if you don't pray, whatever you do, journaling helps me a lot to get my thoughts out and to just process things as well.
I do stuff like that before
I
I go
do
to sleep.
video journals too. I'll
do stuff
look
like
back
that
like,
before I
girl,
go
why
to
was you
sleep, 'cause
crying?
it's
No,
right
like, are
before
you
go to
okay?
sleep, right before you go to sleep, I feel like you tend to have a lot on your mind. So whether
Yes.
you journal or you write out everything you need to do
Yeah.
for the next day or just pray, it's like, let me give everything I got to this thing so my brain can kind of declutter
Yeah.
and just shut down.
Wash it out.
Because if
Yeah.
I don't, stuff will pop up in my dreams. Like if I go to sleep
Yeah.
with so much on my mind,
Yes.
I will see that same scenario play out in my dream. I'll see that certain person in my dream. I'm like, okay, let me get this out some way. So because it's gonna keep coming. Like I have to get it out. That's me. I'm a very like, if something is on my mind, I have to tell you. Like I'm not one of those people that can just hold their feelings in or nothing like that. It's like I have to release that because if not, it literally clogs my brain.
Interesting. So I
Yeah.
have a question then. Since we talk about, kind of releasing, are any of us in therapy?
I am. I've been
Shout
therapy
out to
I'm
y'all.
not. Good.
2.5
That is
years.
I'm not.
now.
good.
I've
Yeah.
been in therapy for about 6 months.
That is so
Okay.
good.
Therapy was the best thing I could have ever done after
Yes.
college. After I graduated, that's when I started, and now I'm in it till this day. And I feel like I've seen so much self growth in myself from being in therapy. I'm like so much more self aware, and I think about like how my actions can affect other people now more than I probably would have. I just feel like I'm so much more wise now and emotionally mature. I still have room to grow, but
Yeah.
therapy is extremely helpful. This helps you deal with trauma. Like
No,
we can't walk
my
around with all
therapist-
that baggage forever.
You will
That's
walk
gonna
around-
weigh you down. You're
yeah.
gonna look old, saggy, looking sick. I mean, we can't continue on that way.
Yeah, no, a therapist will definitely eat you up. If you find the right one, you click with the right one. Like I had, I was talking to my therapist about my breakup, and I was just saying, like, I just still want to deal with this person. And my therapist acted as if she was me, and I was my friend. And she was basically just saying, like, I just want to be with this person. Like, why don't you want to be with this person? Why don't you want me to be with this person? And she was like eating me up, and I couldn't give her any answers. And she made me go home and write 5 paragraphs of why this person was good for me.
Ooh,
You didn't have
she was
nothing to
cooking
say.
you. She was cooking
I
you.
don't even want to go back to the next session because I
was-
don't have anything
I don't even want to
say.
hear
She
it.
was
Like I don't
cooking
even
you
want to
crazy.
come back to you.
But she was just cool. Like,
and that's why I think it's important to find a therapist that matches you. Would y'all get a therapy, or are y'all thinking about therapy?
I am thinking about therapy. Yeah, I mean it's gonna be better than me doing what I want to do in my head. I'm like, I think I need a therapist.
I would love to go to therapy. I do see myself doing it sometime in the future, but I think what probably stops me is I probably couldn't go as often as I would like to go. And just like affording therapy and different things like that. But there are things that I still do.
insurance, and you can do it online too. Like you can do a
Yes.
virtual.
Yes.
You know.
I'm aware of that, but there are other things that I tend to do. So I feel like I do a good amount of self-reflecting. Whether I'm in a situation I did something wrong or someone else did something wrong, it's like, because I've tried to be accountable a lot. So it's like, all right, what did I do? Let me take some time, really sit with this. And then, of course, I go to the gym. And that's a
I've
form of
heard
therapy
that's-
for me.
yeah, I've heard
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah,
for mental
so-
health.
I feel like that about Pilates.
Really.
Pilates is
Bad.
I heard that too. Mariah, I was gonna ask, as a man in your 20s, in your mid-20s, do you feel like therapy, or what do you feel like would be really helpful for you in whatever you're going through in your head? Like, of course, the gym helps you, but I'm sure that black men experience so much.
Yes. And there be
On the
little, so much
day-to-day,
dehumanized,
and y'all
so
keep
much
it
like
all
you
in.
cool. I don't believe in that.
So, what do you feel like would genuinely help you to be a better man at the end of your 20s?
I'd probably say therapy, and then as long as you have a community of men around you, because I mean, to be quite frank, some of us men might not open up to women as easy as we might open up to each other, because we, like, if a man says to me, man, I'm going through this, it's like, bro, I know exactly what's going on, like, because I went through that. It's easier to have that camaraderie, and when you have a community of men that are at least doing things that are inspiring you, or maybe are of course better than you in certain areas, these are people that you can learn from. And then it allows you to, of course, grow yourself and maybe see yourself as the weakest link in the room, because if you're the weakest link in the room, then it's like, well, then that means everyone around me is going to elevate me. So I think when you're in community like that, that helps, because sometimes here I feel like I don't have that community quite the same way as I might in other places. Because if I had it, then I'm thinking, okay, I'll probably be around these people more often. Now, I do a lot of, just working, which maybe is not the best, but I feel like it's necessary for me to do right now. But because of that, I'm not always with the community that I should probably be with. And if I was, then I would probably be experiencing a little more growth than I already am.
You have to find time to balance both, though, like balance the working into the money and also feeding your soul in the right way.
Yes,
like
money isn't everything.
Extremely important
Every
because
time we talk about this,
I know you gotta get to the money. I know you gotta get to the money.
I'm like that too. I'm like that too,
But
especially like the
literally.
I'm in now. Give me my money, like that's literally
that
me.
is
but it's
exactly
like also like
literally.
my off days. I take advantage of my off days. Like I low key don't even. I already don't talk to a lot of people as it is now. But it's like my off days. Don't call me.
I feel like that's more so, off of the original question, like how it's life been life, and it's like, no matter what I go through, like I've experienced death this year. I've lost friends. I've lost family. Like the person that was so close to me has done the most evil things to me. But it's like, you know what? I still have to get up and go to work. I still have to get up, take my baby to daycare. Like I still have to keep going. I think that is how life lies. It's like, it's a harsh reality. Like no matter what you go through, you still got to clock in. They don't care what you're going through.
They don't care.
You still got to be, and I have to put on this face for my baby. Cause you're like, I don't want my child to see me down or nothing. So it's just like, I have to keep going no matter what, which it's good and it's bad. Like, especially me being a mom, it's like, with my child, it's like, I have a motivation to keep going. And I think about people without kids. I'd be like, if I ain't have my kid, I'd probably just lay here all day. Like I would probably just sit in my sorrow, but it's like, when you have an active toddler, there's no sitting in your sorrow. There's none of that. It's like they are just go, go, go. And it kind of takes me away from, how I'm really feeling. And it just makes me feel really wholesome, having a child. But I would say, just based off what you were saying, like that is how life been life for me. It's like, no matter what goes on, these bills got to get paid. Yeah. My baby got to be straight. So it's just like, that's my extra push, my child, to keep me going. But
and I guess I would say that is a pro for people in their 20s who do have kids.
Yeah.
Like, that baby keeps you going compared to like us. We don't have children. So you mentioned sitting in your sorrow. That's what I do. If I'm saying, I'm sitting in that room.
I actually sat in my sorrow for a whole month earlier this year. But luckily, my grandma, if I didn't have, Laura, I love my grandma so much. Yeah. If I didn't have her during that time, like when I tell y'all she was cooking for me, she was watching my baby every single day. Like if I didn't have my grandma, I don't know how I would have made it through. I don't know how I would have kept my job, because it'd be some days I literally just wanted to lay there. But like after that month, it was January and February was coming. I'm like, you know what, I can't do this.
And it's like you can get tricked into being depressed, because it's like definitely take your time, but don't dwell on, like, learn from your lessons. Don't beat yourself up about your mistakes. But it's like I've learned, like, it's been a whole year, like a time where I just didn't want to work. I didn't want to do nothing. Like I did not want to do nothing. But it's like I wake up like TMI. Like I wake up like, you know what? Like I'm so sad. Like I'm gonna take some melatonin. I'm going back to sleep. That's just me. But then it's like the next day. It's like even today. Like I felt sad today. I was playing Janae Aiko. I said, "Girl, quit being sad." And I turned on Doja Cat, and it was like it just put me in a better mood. Like I was literally
Janae Aiko makes me feel good.
But it's just like in the song that it was, but also like I started like right now Guidance by Janae Aiko. I feel like that is 1,001,000% my life right now. But it's just like if you sit in your sorrow, you will be the sorrow.
You will.
You really have to learn that you are not your emotions. Your emotions are just passing through. Because as soon as you wake up and you fight that sadness, like you wake up crying. But if you fight that sadness, like, you know what, I'm about to clean up. I'm about to do this. I'm probably about to go buy something. You feel better.
You do.
You feel better.
I think it's a balance of
fight back.
Taking that day to sit in your sorrow, but making sure the next 5 days you're not doing that.
You can't let it break you. Don't let it break you. Like you gotta really fight.
Yes. And I definitely feel like it's important to feel those emotions though, versus suppressing them.
It would be concerning if you dismiss them.
I really feel like you have to cry sometimes. Like if you just sit there and act like you're taking everything, one day you're just going to break down.
You are.
And you're going to crash out. You might even hurt somebody. That's why it's like you need to let it out, girl. Let it out.
See, I think me working is like my fighting back. Because it's like, all right, I might be depressed on the clock. I might be this on the clock. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I know, because I know where it's going. I know what I'm trying to do with it. But like
have
like
a
I said, I
vision.
have my times where I sit and what I'm going through, but
Yeah.
I'm usually a pretty, I don't want to say even keel. Like I'm very energetic. If you know me, you know I'm very energetic. But when I'm sad or like depressed or upset, I'm really frustrated by that because I'm rarely ever there. I can at least think my way about it, think my way out of it. But when I'm in it, it's like, all right.
And then it's like you can't turn it off.
But then that's why I'm like, well, I go to the gym because chemically that will literally help with some of my emotions.
Yeah.
But also, if I know I'm making some money, this probably comes, from feeling, the necessity for being, for the utility of a man. It's like I have to make sure that I'm always doing something that I know will provide value, because at least it feels like for me, if I'm not doing anything of value, then I'm not probably of the greatest value. That might sound not so great, but that is honestly the truth that I deal with, because it's like, all right,
So
if I'm
making
not
the
doing
money
something-
makes you happy.
Oh,
As
absolutely.
long as he's making some money, it's like at least I'm doing what I need to do as a as a man.
It would be
Yeah.
different. It's like, okay, I'm in my feelings. Like I'm broke.
I'm
I don't
not
think we
making
get-
no money. Like
Yeah.
that's even worse for me,
It's a-
and I feel like
that's what I'm saying. We don't
I feel
get
like men
that.
have a lot of pressure in life. I
We
really,
do.
really do.
We-
Y'all
and I don't
do.
think that is fair.
But I'm still thankful and blessed to be born as a man. It's just
Okay,
since I know
that's
that
great.
since I know that comes with that, I just have to deal with it. So it's not like, all right, I'm gonna just sit and wallow in this. Like I might a little, but
I
we
gotta
gotta get to this.
love and
Yeah,
get
I
to
have to get up, because you said like fight back. So like when you said go buy something, to me that cracked me up because I don't really do that. But I know many people have retail therapy, right?
Yeah.
I'm fine without it. Like I'm not really in that season right now, but I feel like I'm usually having to do something, and just knowing that I'm progressing towards something every day, even a little bit, I feel good with that.
So let's talk about how your frontal lobe coming in truly changes your process of thinking. Because I feel like when I turn 25 and I'm turning 26 in October, oh my God, I'm gonna cry my eyes out.
Oh my God.
But okay, I'm gonna cry my eyes out. But I feel like now I just think so much more maturely. Like I don't spend time on things more than they need to be spent time on. Like I used to wallow and just harp on things that just took up too much time and my energy. So now I'm just like, all right, on to the next.
I agree.
How do y'all feel like y'all process of thinking has changed?
I feel like for a while, I've always been like that. Like I don't really feed my energy into certain things. Like I had a friend in the past, and he had tried to like argue with me, and I said like, "Well, I ain't worried about that." And he was like, "Shaylin, I was trying to argue with you," and I'm like, I mean, it's just like, why would I give my energy to things that don't matter to me? I don't care.
What's
That's every day.
I feel like I'm on the
phone.
flip side of that a little bit. Like, I'll think about it a little more, because
You a Gemini though. Gemini's like,
here we go. Here we go.
Gemini's
Anyway,
crazy.
Geminis are crazy.
No,
and
not
always-
crazy.
Here
Gemini.
y'all go.
They
Here y'all
always
go.
got
They
something.
just know they have another
They
side
have
to
two
them.
personalities.
Yeah,
they
they
have
do.
multiple. Like I have a friend. who's
Geminis
Gemini,
want to be
she has
heard.
multiple
I have a
personalities.
really, my close friend is a Gemini, and my mom is a Gemini, and my mom.
But go on.
Let me bring it back. Like I was saying,
Sorry.
I tend to spend a little more time maybe thinking about, the whole situation.
If you feel like you owe someone an apology and they don't want to hear it, like it's just like, I know they don't want me. Like, I know that I'm wrong. Do you not apologize?
Ooh.
I still apologize.
I apologize.
It's
It's
holding yourself
respect,
accountable though.
Yeah.
And a lot of
that's
people
true.
in this world and in our generation don't know what accountability is.
Say it.
That's very true.
They don't know what
That is the
accountability
truth.
is.
And
Yeah.
we need to start Googling and pulling it up for people. Accountability.
No, I've
Like,
literally
what's
said
going
Okay,
on?
let's get into this. Okay, do y'all hold y'all female friends accountable?
Yes.
Yes.
Do you
I
actually?
feel like
Yes.
girls
Yes.
hold their friends more accountable than men do because
But
I
I
feel
Do
like
you?
Ooh.
Do you? Let's not. Do you?
But I also
do you
feel
actually?
like females can be
Yes.
great enablers
Yes.
to their female
Thank
friends
you.
as well. And I
Thank
don't have
you.
time for that.
Wait, what did you say?
maybe because I'm not that
I
type
feel like
of friend.
certain friends are enablers. I don't have time for that.
Well, maybe because I'm not that type of friend.
Yeah.
But I do feel like for example, I said the men comment, like men don't hold their male friends accountable because it's just like when you see your man doing something that's like a mess, guys just be like, oh dang, like that's crazy.
Yeah.
Or that's
Like,
just how he is.
that's just
Yeah.
how or like y'all don't say, nah, you was wrong for this. You should do this. I haven't
like, nah,
seen
you was
that
Exactly.
a lot.
A lot
Okay.
of guys do
Okay.
that. I agree.
But
You agree?
I agree.
I
I don't.
that.
You
Because
get
you
what I'm
are-
saying?
So wait,
You are
let me
different.
ask you this: you have someone in your life that if you do something out of line,
Yeah.
they'll pull you to the side and be like, "That wasn't what's up."
Yeah, or I
That's
do it to
great.
my friend. Like I be waiting for
Okay,
my
well,
friends
that's
to tell
good.
me something that they think I'm supposed to agree with.
That they thought
I'm
they
like,
ate
okay,
on, like,
now what do
yeah.
you think I'm supposed to say? Because you're wrong. Like, I remember back in, this is like 8th grade, but a friend of mine, he was a guy. He was dating a friend of mine that was a girl, and he basically wanted me to either side with him or her on this. And I was like, you gonna lose this. Like, you're not right.
But
so
why
if
would you
any of my
expect me to
friends-
side and y'all both are my friends?
Right,
Yeah.
but it's like,
But he
it's
still
just,
was gonna hold
but what
him
I'm saying
accountable.
is he expected me to just be with him.
Yeah.
It's like, you could be one of my closest homies. If I'm doing something where I'm tripping, he's gonna let me know. And it's the same way. I'm like,
I love that.
You know, like,
That's
what you
great.
did was kind of dumb. I don't think you should do that again.
That's good because from what I've seen, I haven't seen a lot of guys doing that to their guy friends.
No,
so
no,
I'm
no.
glad
Like,
to know
on
that
a
it's guys
general,
like you
on
out
a
here.
general basis, like on a general situation, a lot of women just enable their friends.
I'm not that type of
I
friend,
call
so
my
I don't
I'm
friends
have
like,
that
what is going on?
experience.
Maybe it's just in the media that I consume.
I'm the
'Cause-
friend that's gonna tell you, like, girl, you was
It's actually
tripping.
flying out my mouth.
You
You're
was
wrong.
tripping.
Now you have
Matter
to.
of fact, are y'all more likely to fall out about holding your friend accountable?
What do you mean
Yeah.
falling out?
Okay, so
I mean, if we fall out, if I tell you was wrong and you disagree and you want to fall out, we could fall out about it. Because in the day,
Like-
Because
you was
why
wrong.
would you even be mad about that?
You was wrong.
well, because it seems like a lot of the times, girls might fall out a lot easier than guys
agree.
would.
I agree.
And I think some of that comes from accountability. Whereas
I
if you
think
say,
that's
look, friend, I love you, but you tripping, and they'll say, girl, you hating. Whereas a homie is like a guy might say you hating, but we can really
Y'all best
actually
friends.
talk about it and say, look,
No, I'll
You
definitely
wrong.
agree. I mean, I feel like this goes both female and a male. It's like I have not a lot of people, but I've seen like a bunch of people tell one specific person like, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. And they just don't think they're wrong. And it's just kind of like,
that's a very interesting
you don't
situation,
self-reflect. But what I'm also learning is a lot of people don't have a conscience. Like, I'm literally learning that. Like,
Yep.
a lot of people don't think before they speak.
No.
And I
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
know that.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
thinking we all the same on this
very
side.
true.
Nope.
And I feel like I have the type of friendships where we're not falling out over accountability because that's just how we move. Like,
Yeah.
Girl, like, I
and
will
we know
talk to
that
you
it's
later.
coming from a genuine place. And I'm always aware of how I say things. I try
Yeah.
to be, because I know sometimes I can come off like, girl. But I try not to do that because then it comes off as judgment. So I think there's a difference between being judgy and holding your friend accountable that we really have to try to navigate.
Yeah.
Because I will feel some type of way if it seems like you judging me, like, girl, hold on.
Yeah.
You
I
doing
feel like the only
lot.
time like my feelings get hurt is like relationship wise, because it's just like, I mean,
That's a touchy subject.
it's a touchy subject. But if you're doing something like, if you did a friend, say for example, you did your friend wrong, Micaiah,
Yeah.
you was weird. That was weird.
Wrong.
That was
Yeah.
weird. Like, I don't know, you might need to check yourself. Like, I don't know what you have going on, but check yourself. But versus like, maybe if you confided in me, like, like, I've been back talking to this man, like, I don't, and I'm like, girl, you're a dumb as fuck. Like,
Yeah, no, like that's like,
Yeah.
wait a minute.
you know what? Forget I even said anything.
don't even wanna
It's
talk to
just
you.
like,
Yeah.
you don't have to worry about me ever again.
So, is there any part of your early 20s that you wish you would have done differently? Now, since we're in our mid 20s, is there anything you wish you would have done differently?
I 110% wish that like I wasn't in a relationship.
Okay.
Shots
Like,
fired.
no, like I really feel like that.
I'm playing. Go ahead.
No,
go
because
ahead, go ahead.
it's no, because it's just like I was so young, and it's just like me being 25 now. Like I mean, now that I'm 25, we'll talk about that later. I kind of feel like I'm panicking because like I need to find my man. But it's just like, in a sense, like I don't know. Like I really feel like I just should have focused on myself more, poured into myself more, because now here I am, 25. And I'm damaged, but it's also like that's a part of being 25. I'd rather me do it in my early 20s rather than do it in my early 30s.
Yeah.
Because now I'm somewhere in my early 30s, never dealing with a heartbreak. Now I'm somewhere really sliding down the wall.
Yeah.
Rather than, okay, you know what, I did this 10 years ago. But still, nevertheless, like I just still really feel like I wish I would have been single when I was younger.
Yeah, I
What about
agree.
y'all? Yeah.
I feel like I wish I would have. I feel like I wish I would have been single. I mean, because I've been in back-to-back relationships, maybe since high school. Like I'm always getting into one relationship, I'm getting right into another one, I'm getting right into another one. And I wish I would just be like, real, just take the time and just be single. Because then it's like, dang, I ended up, not saying it's a bad thing, because I know it gets a bad rep. Like I ended up a single mom, but it's still like, had I been more careful and just moved more carefully, I wouldn't have been in that position. Don't get me wrong, I don't regret having a child.
Yeah.
It's just I wish I would have moved more precisely, and then maybe picked somebody not better for her because she has a good dad, but maybe better for me
Yeah.
because he wasn't good to me. And the two things can exist at one time.
Yeah.
Like you could be a good dad and a shitty boyfriend. Like it's really, really true.
That's
so
real.
but I think it just, I don't know. that's pretty much it. I wish I would have probably just thought more carefully about certain things. I don't really have any regrets, but because I learned.
Same.
So, but still, and I think, you know, now the mistakes I've made now, I won't make them again. So,
Okay.
yeah.
I appreciate hearing that for sure. But I would also agree as far as I wish I wasn't in a relationship. I wasn't even in this relationship long, but there was one relationship I was in when I was like 22, and then there was a relationship I was kind of coming out of in college. But I kind of wish I maybe had not done that and really worked harder. I will say from 20 to 22, I was just like, man, I don't want to work all the time because I want to find my passion, the thing I love, and just do that. Yeah. But if I would have just worked a little harder, I already know that I'd be a little further in certain things, because like how I talk about how much I work now, I think that's because of maybe the trauma I experienced of not doing it, because when I wasn't working so much, it would backfire a lot. It's like there was really a time where I didn't have I either had to pay rent or fix my car, but I couldn't do both. Yeah. And it's like, I don't ever want to be in that spot again.
I've been there before.
Yeah, like I don't ever want that again.
It's an uncomfortable feeling, and like you're air sign, so I know you're in your head a lot. I know. Yeah. Virgos too. I feel like Virgos are very, very similar to air signs, so it's just like being in your head, it's like, okay, you already know that you weren't able to do this, but now you in your head truly beating yourself up, and it's just like sometimes you can really get lost in your mind, and sometimes it's like not a safe place at all.
Yeah, like I can say I was beating myself up, but I can also look at the situation objectively and say that was not smart. I don't know why I was even trying to do that.
Yeah. That's fair though. Yeah. That's a balance though.
Yeah, I would just say one thing I wish I would have known back then was like financial literacy. Like I wish that was taught and instilled in me, because I wouldn't have ended up in certain situations. Like when I was super young, I got a super high car note. Then I had to pay insurance. So it was like I was working my butt off. Yeah. I was getting paid, but still, I didn't have really no life. And I was working third shift, so I was never talking to my friends, never seeing it just became like this cycle. I was like on a treadmill, and I'm like, I wish somebody would have told me, Brio, don't get no car note when you're that young, because then you're going to be working. I wish I would have just waited, saved up, got me a little slider. Yeah. And that would have been okay, but I learned.
Yeah, so. I was going to say something about financial literacy. Like, I feel like I did do well in, like, saving my money and stuff like that. But the one thing I wish we would have been taught is, like, Roth IRA. Like, I don't know nothing about that. Like, I need to get that immediately. Yeah. Like, I'm 25. I need to have one. I know about 401k, but I didn't learn more about that until I got my first job after college. It's like, why weren't we taught about that prior to... like after high school, essentially. And then I feel like one thing I wish I would have just paid attention more in my early 20s is time with like family. Like my grandma passed away after I graduated college, so it's just like that whole process within itself made me really think about the fact that we need to really spend time with our grandparents. We need to really spend time with our parents, like
your loved ones, period.
Your loved ones, period. Your friends. We really need to make that time for them. I'm so busy worried about what party I'm about to go to, my career and stuff like that. I need to go see my grandma. Like I need to go spend time with my family. And I think that that's something that I just pay more attention to now. But it's sad that like it took that to open up my eyes to the fact that time is moving fast, to be honest. We're getting older. Our parents and our loved ones are too. So I think that's something that I just would have took advantage of more in my early 20s.
But I was going to say one thing I'm very excited about for all of us is we are going through these things that might suck, right? But we're experiencing it firsthand, and we are realizing how whack this is. So now we're like, okay,
I don't want to do it again.
Yeah, we're experiencing firsthand how we would like, if things could have been different, we would have maybe done them differently. But since it's happening to us, I feel like, for our future children and for your child, you can say, my child, this is what happened to me. I promise you, you don't want to deal with this the same way. I am glad. So please trust me on this.
I'm glad for that, because I feel like I'm breaking a lot of generational curses. Like, it's just so much that I'm learning as a parent that my mom never instilled into me. So it's like when I'm making these mistakes, it's like, okay, I'm gonna make sure my daughter will know this stuff. Like she's gonna be able to come to me for everything, because it was stuff I couldn't come to my parents about stuff. They didn't really, not saying they were like not smart, but they couldn't help me in certain areas because they themselves didn't know. And I give them grace because everybody is human. we're all living this life for the first time, but it's like I'm gonna make sure like my daughter gonna be able to come to me about anything, money. She gonna be able to be emotional with me. She's gonna be everything you could think of. I'm gonna have her back. Like I'm making sure. Like so much stuff is just being instilled. Like I have life insurance. Me, her. Like we are gonna be good regardless, and I'm making sure of that. So
yeah, I feel like it's something that's gonna make me eager. It's like, you
yeah,
finally ran into this thing. You ready?
Let's talk about
yes,
it.
I cannot wait. Like, you know what? Come sit on my bed.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like,
Let mama
all right,
tell you.
daddy,
We have that
Yeah.
TikTok, and it's like when I hear my daughter playing open arms and like you
Yeah.
grab all this stuff to go in the room, it's just like I've been waiting on this. Like I'm here.
I'm
'Cause
gonna
I
be
feel like,
ready.
No, I feel
Yeah.
like definitely what stops me from being so sad is like hearing that. Not saying like I want you to feel my pain, but it's like hearing that I'm not the only person that feels like this. I'm not the only person who encountered this. So it makes me feel heard rather
Yeah.
than me being in my head just making up stuff.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So.
And I think it's, well, let me just say this one last thing. I think it's allowing everything to kind of compound. So your parents probably did the best that they could with us, right?
Yes.
And then we're going to try and do even better from there. That way,
Yes. So
that
our
child is going to be like,
kids-
all right, do your thing. Because
Uh-huh.
they went through this, I went through this, and now you can flourish from us.
Yeah. And I would say, as we're ending off, first, like, just state the craziest thing that has happened to you since you entered your mid-20s. Mine is, like, it could be something that might not be crazy to other people, but it's crazy to you. I think mine is the fact that I have a couple, but one of the craziest things that like you don't even think about is the fact that I'm 25 and I go to try and get my license renewed. I gotta take my whole test over from the temps to the license to the driver's test because I waited too long. I was irresponsible.
So
And
wait,
I
wait.
waited too long. I had to take everything over.
Ain't no
That
way.
is
So wait, when do I
embarrassing.
need to go? Because I turned 25 on Wednesday. I ain't trying.
Girl, I took months. I was just waiting on it.
Wednesday.
I was just like, I'll deal with it. Like my mom kept reminding me. I'm like, girl, I'm gonna deal with that. But it was just a sign that, girl, you was irresponsible. I got there. They said you gotta take the temp test, and then you gotta take your driver's test. That's embarrassing.
So you have to like get in the car.
I had to get in the car and take
And I
the
barely
driver's
passed
test.
that part.
So
I
would say like I needed to learn how to handle my business. Like
Yeah.
that was really a thing that was like, Micaiah, handle your business.
Shay, you want to go?
No.
I
do not. I'm so sorry. Like I can't even disclose any information.
Oh my goodness. For me, I guess one of the things I'll say is like I worked at a bank, right?
Did it get?
No, nothing. Well, I mean, a lot of wild stuff. Hold on. Before y'all get any ideas,
Stop.
nothing crazy. Well, actually, some
Did it
crazy,
get robbed?
You
Don't
didn't
tell
get
me it was
robbed.
in
No.
a bank
Okay,
heist.
okay.
No.
Let's let 'em-
Crazy
Okay.
stuff happened there. I'm trying to give you context. So I worked at a bank and I learned a lot about financial literacy things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I still fell into some of the same problems that I will see people dealing with. Like I got high credit card debt. Still got I got a car, and I wanted a newer car than the one I had. But because of the car I got, it's obviously a higher car note than no car note, and still got having to deal with student loans. So just like having to deal with all the debt all together and not panic is like one of the craziest things, because I know some people will look at it and be like, man, how am I gonna get out of this? But part of my attitude is like, all right, I'm gonna do things that other people don't do to knock it out. But that's one of the things, I guess. That's like an overall
The
experience.
other thing is your pivot,
Wait,
What you mean?
your job change.
Yeah, I got fired.
I
Yeah.
didn't say you had to say that.
Since you want to go there.
No, I didn't mean to
I
say
got
that.
fired.
I meant to say that you changed your job.
Whatever.
You could have just left it at that.
No,
but it's
I mean,
cool. Like,
well, so what's crazy is I've started to talk to more people around our age, and they'll say, yeah, I've been let go.
I
I've
was
been
laid
fired before,
off.
too. See, and that
I've
stuff is
100% been fired.
I was
Yeah, like,
laid
that
off
stuff is
because I
embarrassing.
Didn't want to go to work.
That's like embarrassing, but at the same time, it was at a place I wasn't the happiest at. I'll just say that.
So it
I'm
was.
like,
It
So it was a blessing.
So they
Everything
did
happened
it
for a
for you.
reason.
yeah, when it happened, I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So maybe not the best attitude to have, but
No.
at the time, for me, I said, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all let me go, so I'm able to go and do
Yeah.
other things.
Yeah.
Bria.
The craziest thing that happened to me in my 20s is probably pushing a child out my
I was
vagina.
gonna say
That's
like,
probably the craziest thing I might have ever done in my life, because I mean, it's just like you don't really know how crazy it is till you really get to that hospital and they're like, girl, you about to have this baby. I'm like, how? Like, how is this gonna work?
Right,
like
I
I'm
know
gonna
how
be
it
a
works, but
mama.
how this about to work?
But no, like even after that, you still be looking at your child like, I really made you. Like you're really mine. It's so surreal. It's just crazy. But I would say that's the craziest thing. Other things I probably cannot legally speak on. But what I've really learned that's crazy is like, sometimes when you get yourself into situations, you can't just get right out. Like I'm currently in a situation I can't really get right out of. And
legal?
Yeah.
We have to be careful.
Yes.
Do we need
so
to
it's
talk
just
about
like,
this after this? Let us know.
No, everything is fine. But it's
Okay.
just like, life is crazy. It's real though.
And it's like sometimes real consequences come from stuff that we don't even imagine.
Yeah. It's like, the stuff you could do when you was a minor, you should probably not do.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
And that includes
Do not do it. Like
Yeah.
that. But I will say as I'm getting older though, like I used to be quick to like crash out, go crazy, cut somebody out.
Boy.
But as I'm getting older, and this is back to your frontal lobe question, it's like I think now, especially now, like I think before I react. And that's just how you have to be. Like, when you're not a minor, you can't just do certain things. So.
You got my mind working right now.
We don't know
What we talking about?
Shaylin.
Yeah, Shay, back to you.
I've had a wild year. So
Okay.
it's just like,
Same.
we'll just leave it at that. Like, if you just turn the other cheek.
Okay. So to end the episode off, I want y'all to finish the sentence. To everyone in their mid-20s, finish the sentence. That could be advice. That could just be something you want to share. To everyone in their mid-20s.
To everyone in their mid-20s, don't let the pressure fold you. Run towards the pressure. Don't let the pressure chase you.
That was a bar.
I could drop a bar.
To everyone in their mid-20s, cut that person off the first time they play with you because they're going to do it again
And again.
and again.
Okay.
So,
And multiple times.
yeah.
And then they did
So
it again.
just save yourself years of waiting around. No. People are who they show you they are. And you should take it. Everybody's not like you. You should just move with grace and leave the first time. The first time.
That's
Okay.
hard to do, but that is true. Jariah?
To everyone in their mid-20s, I would say make sure that you're doing some work now that you are for sure going to appreciate later. Because a lot of people say that this is the time, waste time and BS, but I'm like, this is also one of the times where you could do a lot of work with the energy that we have as young as we are and be able to appreciate it instead of the flip side, you BS and then you have to work so much harder from the back end. If you do it from the front, then I think it's going to be a lot easier for your life.
That's good. Okay, I would say to everyone in their mid-20s, build a tribe. Number one, like build your circle of friends who you could definitely count on because days will get lonely and you can't always depend on a man or a woman or their relationship. And then I would also say learn how to let go because I spent a lot of time holding on to things when I shouldn't have, and it's just like, girl, move on to the next, So yeah, that's what I would say. And give yourself grace too.
Yes. Give yourself grace.
We're trying to get through adulthood, but I think that this was a great conversation for everyone to see. Like everybody's going through a lot, and we're trying to get through it, and we're working through it. As long as you're taking the steps that you need to take, I think we'll be good.
Yeah.
We'll be great.
Move with grace.
Yeah.
Thank y'all so much for joining me. I appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.